First of all, I want to thank all of you so very much for being here. It's been an incredible ride so far, and as we get ready to embark on this week of celebrating the legacy of Bob Monroe, the centennial of his birth, and recognizing the 20th year of his death, which is coming up on March 17th. Isn't that your birthday, Jim? I'd like to start by acknowledging some of the people who are joining us. And of course, you've already been introduced or introduced yourself, but I have to thank the board of directors with Jenna, Al Dahlberg, Lee Fisher, Fred, Rolf Nutz for being here. We had a great meeting the other day. They give a lot of themselves, and it took a lot of time and energy for those people to get here, particularly from Stony Creek, Virginia. I also want to thank the Board of Advisors. We worked very hard yesterday. You guys did a marvelous job brainstorming with me. All of you professional members. What, you don't like this after all? I'm not loud enough. That's not what you told me, AJ. Okay.
I'm still right.
Okay, is this better? Now I have to talk softly, because if I talk loudly, I'm afraid it'll burst your ears. Anyway, the professional members who have been coming for so many years, Jim since 1975 at Whistlefield. I was a mere baby at the time.
Those Whistlefields where they had the 3 Pathfinder teams.
Well, that's right. We had 3 booths, and we used to have the Explorer teams going, and sometimes we would go out and explore together. We would like to start that up again. I'll get to that. So a lot of you have been coming back here year after year, and I thank you from my heart, because all of you, the boards, both boards, and all of you professional division members have added a lot to what we're trying to do here. And our visiting dignitaries, Sally, where'd you go? Sally and John Cruth. There, I dare say it. Our Rhine people. I tease John because he reminds me so much of Alan Rickman. And you know, anyway. Diane Corcoran, nice to see you again also. And right now, Ann and Bob Nunley, who are coming in from Kansas, the icing group, will be coming in later tonight. I'm really sorry you're not here right now. Yeah, I know, we haven't seen them in ages. The last time I saw Ann and Bob Nunley was with Bill Schul, who was also one of our trainers, and I was in my 20s. So, you know, that was quite a few years ago. So it's going to be great fun seeing them. And the reason why, you all heard the word alliance being used. The reason, well, not the only reason, because I just happen to love these people anyway, but the reason I have invited the CEOs of these like-minded organizations is because I had this overpowering thought occur to me last fall. We need to create an alliance, a supportive, cooperative effort where we all put what we're doing together, both individually and collectively, and support what we're doing regarding consciousness out in the world. And so we're having our first meeting tomorrow where we'll be kind of starting to give form to this, and it is my hope that we will also bring in many more organizations such as IONS, other international organizations. So Tom and well, she kind of is, yes, yes. Well, Marilyn Schlitz was, in fact, I hear a very good director of IONS, and now she's on her own. So we'll be talking to you about what you're doing too. So bringing in more organizations, both nationally and internationally, bring our efforts together so we can support each other's work. Okay. And at the risk of sounding like an Oscar moment, I'm sorry, I also want to acknowledge our residential trainers who are here, our outreach trainers, the local chapter network LCN leadership. Tip, I know you're somewhere in here. Yay! Arigatou gozaimashita. Tip, by the way, didn't say, but he's also an incredible linguist, I think, as well, as is his wife. Very brilliant couple. I'm going to make them move here. Okay. And last but not least, our very trusted and incomparable staff. These are the people you have known and loved through the years, who have given you everything you need to make your stay here comfortable, who have made it possible for our participants while they're out exploring other non-physical realms, taking care of their bodily, physical needs here so that they can go out and feel safe and give them a homey and supportive environment. So that way they can keep exploring the non-physical realms and do what they came here to do. The staff also has supported me beyond what I can describe. Ever since I came back to TMI, which has been 1 year, 2 months, 28 days, 12 hours and 5 minutes since I've been back. Really. So I am very honored to still be here as the TMI president and executive director, and love being part of this incredible team that we have, because we're making it possible, just as many of you are in your work, for people, our participants, for all the lives of the people we touch, to understand and to know and to experience that they are indeed more than their physical bodies, right? And that's just for starters. Tonight, I'm going to give you a brief overview of some of the highlights of what we've done this past year and look at what we intend to accomplish in the year ahead. But first, in that we're honoring the legacy of Bob Monroe, and since it's time for a commercial break, I'd like to take a brief time out to show you one of Bob's smaller legacies. This is one my mother would just as soon he'd not left for posterity. Watch this.
Can't sleep? Well, take time out. Time out, a scientific pattern of sound on audio cassette that creates sleep-producing waveforms when you listen to it. All you have to do is lie down and listen. The Time Out sleep tape does the rest. For over 15 years, thousands of people of all ages have been successfully using Time Out sounds just to get to sleep. Now you can get a package of 4 Time Out tapes, each one different. And Time Out guarantees that at least one will help you get to sleep. Try them for 30 days. If they don't work for you, send the tapes back to us for a full refund. The cost of the package of Time Out tapes is $39.95 plus shipping and handling. You can use them again, again, and again. A bad price for several hundred good nights. Order your Time Out tapes. Call 1-800-547-GUEST.
That was provided to us by Mark Serto. Some of you may remind him. Remember Mark? God bless Mark. He worked with our sound and making quite a few of the exercises and everything else for a number of years. He passed it on to my brother because, of course, Interstate Industries is the one who made that, and this was being sold by them. So in that, we're getting ready to start a whole new marketing regime. AJ, do you suppose that would work?
Sure. We've got a tape coming out that's going to make everybody want a sandwich.
You know, those, remember the late night infomercials. That's what that was from. So it was about 1991, I believe. All right. Okay. Okay, so now on to the State of the Union address here. And I am very happy to report this year has been one of the most stable and solid times that we've had in a long while, and I'm glad to report that it still is. The energy around here has been good. Actually, it's been better than good. I think it's downright revitalized. I don't know if you can feel it, but I hear about that all the time. Finances are okay. The water tank is still blessing us with holding and providing fresh water. And despite the fact that most every staff member has to still wear a multitude of hats, with the need to multitask far beyond what any human should be expected to do, we have managed to keep moving forward in growing the Institute and having a fun time doing so for the most part. Right, Angie? Okay, so how have we been moving forward? We'll start with a number of programs. We have 9 new programs. We started a few last year, and they are going into place this year as well, right? Would you like to know what they are? Lucid Dreaming. Lucid Dreaming was designed by Luigi Chambarella and Thomas Hassenberger. And Luigi and Thomas will be conducting that program on the heels of this. I know some of you are staying here, right, to participate in it? Yay, okay. I think you're going to love it. I hear wonderful reports about that. Also, Conscious Presence, which Bob Holbrook has been updating, involving time and again. Thank you, Bob, for that. As well as Event Horizon. This program we just had last week. This is a SAM-based program as well. Bob has designed that and trains it with his beautiful wife, Marinda, and with Natalie Sudman as well. And we are having rave reviews, so you may want to look into that. We also have medical intuition and symbolic diseases. Our medical intuitive used to be TMI trainer, Winter Robinson, who also worked with Al Dahlberg at Brown University for a while, as I recall, right? And Dr. Larry Burke are conducting that. That is a weekend program. Patty Ray Avalon, who most of you know, created Energy Barley, and that one is coming up, I think, in another month or 2. Taking Care of Business, a balancing act, a corporate program. This does feel like the Oscars, doesn't it? By Andrea Berger. And Andrea is probably going to be also offering this online, right, Andrea, before too long? There you are. Okay. The Near-Death Experience Intensive, designed by Scott Taylor. Actually, the first one is already full. That's this spring. We have another one coming up this fall. You all may have heard the name Tom Campbell before, all right? Tom was here in the very early days as well. He was at Whistlefield and part of the early Explorer team. And you all probably know of him now, you new people, perhaps by his My Big Toe, Theory of Everything, his book. He's been giving workshops around the world. They're weekend workshops. Well, it was time for him to come back home, and so he is coming back and will be giving an elongated version of that workshop. So we'll have a 5-day, 6-night program with him, My Big Toe Intensive. Both of those are full. We do have waiting lists. Right? And then, of course, William Buhlman, who we will be hearing from tomorrow evening, I believe. And he is giving another program here called Destination Higher Self, which he will be conducting with his wife. This deals with death and dying in terms of helping assist loved ones in their journey, as well as understanding how to navigate through this whole type of consciousness. In addition to those, we also have online programs at last that are about ready to burst forth on the scene. And one is Developing Intuition. Patty Ray, again, is going to be giving that one for us. The Gateway Experience Wave 1 with Andrea Berger. Andrea, when do we expect that one? Yeah, so, yeah, by 3rd quarter, no later, beginning of 3rd quarter, right? That'll be on. This is a way, understand, we're people who cannot pay, perhaps, to come here for a full week, even though our rates are really reasonable here, and you get the best vacation ever. But people who cannot afford it can then learn online and not have to pay that kind of price. That coming here for a week and getting treated beautifully and getting massages and having the incredible companionship that you get with the groups and so forth. But we'll see how it can go. We're going to help people do it through the Gateway Experience Online. The Intro to Remote Viewing course, there's a man by the name of Joe McMoneagle, who we hope to have developing that before the end of the year, right, Joe? Joe. And then Positively Ageless, another online program that Patty Ray Avalon will be giving. Meanwhile, our outreach program now has 109 outreach trainers in 42 states, and there are 67 international. Isn't that nice? Yeah. We have 16 off-campus residential trainers in 13 countries. And then the spring outreach training class, that used to be called facilitator class, but she's absolutely right. Thomas told us that facilitator had other connotations, so As a result, we have changed it to the outreach training class. Has 12 participants, so we'll have 12 new trainers embarking on that adventure of becoming an outreach trainer. Our local chapter network. This is something, and we call it the LCN, entirely run by volunteers with a 5-person leadership council. And again, thank you, Tip Walker, and the group that works with you on that. Appreciate it very much. That consists currently of 63 local chapters around the globe, with 43 of those being in the United States. And we have active chapters in 23 states and 13 countries. And about 500 to 700 people meet about once a month around the globe to explore and discuss consciousness. So you see, the LCN plays a very important role in helping the Monroe Institute realize its mission, getting its consciousness tools and techniques out there, which is what Bob kept saying, get it out there, right? And we are very deeply grateful to all of them for their efforts. Now, how else have we been moving things forward? We have a new website. Have you seen it? Yes. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. And also, we are doing social media marketing and, of course, PR. So we have this new beautiful website, and thanks to Terry Heater, who joined us in February, who has been helping bring all this stuff online and using more of the social media to market our programs and products. And then, of course, Michael Langevin, whom you heard briefly from just a little bit ago, came with us last summer as an independent consultant. And he has been helping get our name out there with articles and placed in various magazines and e-zines, radio shows, and figuring out places where we can go and talk so that people can learn more about what we do. I recently had a discussion with a gentleman who has had a lot of out-of-body experiences, and he said, you know, more people need to know about you. People don't know about you. And there's so many people out there who think they're going crazy or whatever. So I want to help you get word out about who you are. So this is all very good. The research department, Dr. Jim Lane, thank you so much for all that you do for us. And you will be giving a presentation on Sunday, is that correct? Sunday afternoon. So I don't want to usurp your talk, and just want to, again, thank you for everything you do for us here. And I guess you will be talking about the SAM survey you did online, and then what we're looking at, hopefully downstream about. Bob Holbrook, in the back of the room, who does many, many different things for us as well. He is our Director of Technology. We call him Dot. And he will be talking about the development of SAM, what he's doing with that. He's making lots of changes. It's becoming just absolutely delicious and very effective. And the positive results he's found using that, as well as binaural beats and other types of sound combinations in his work, both for our programs as well as an addiction clinic. And I believe you're going to be talking about that on Monday. Is that right? About the same time, I think you, AJ, will be also talking about Hemi-Sync. Right, so we've been in discussion with some folks, and Tom Pickens, that's right. Tom Pickens mentioned his interest in research, and particularly perhaps looking at children and how might doing research in Hemi-Sync and or SAM help with social anxiety or ADD with that group. And we're also anticipating doing some research using SAM and Hemi-Sync in therapeutic and palliative care applications. And this is something I think Brian Daly and Sergei Sorin, or Ryan, as the case may be, will be talking about, or you're willing to talk with folks about that this week. Is that right, fellows? It would be really nice. It's exciting stuff. So we're very eager to get the research funded and conducted, and also in whatever we can do to assist our veterans in various ways. Now, in terms of the soft research, now we get back to the explorers. I call it soft because we're not talking about having to measure EEG or heart variability or whatever else. And this is what Bob so loved to do. So in 2015, we plan to reinvent and relaunch the TMI Explore program. This is a big deal for us, yes. Yeah. We're designing a way to do this. We're working on this, and we will need volunteers to be explorers as well as monitors. So please feel free. I see hands. Felt a breeze. We're going to need ideas. We'd love to have your thoughts, your recommendations. So we urge you to go to our new website, which is www.monroeinstitute.org. Very easy to remember. And once you go there, go to our forum page, and you can note your suggestions and your ideas and your thoughts at that point. The other thing we have going on, and we started this last year too, some new products. We have some Sam music recordings. I don't know how many of you have heard the Cayuga Silver Wings CD, but it's gorgeous. And then there's this really cute little CD called Bird Song or something like that. And it has to do with a recording I made a couple of years ago in the spring of just some birds singing. And then Bob Holbrook kindly put some Sam beneath it. And so it's a piece of new land. It's a piece of the Monroe Institute, if you will, that you can listen to. And the idea with the Sam and the natural sounds and so forth, it's to relax you and to bring you also to a relaxed, focused state of attention. It's very nice to play in your office. I find it very helpful. Also hope this coming year to have some experiential test CD or downloads, depending on people's preferences, of SAM. I was thinking perhaps one each quarter, and we could have our members, our sustaining members, our professional members, test them and then report back. And if they appear to work really well, they could become products, right? The other thing I want to mention in terms of products, right where Mike's head is, over there above him, you see Robert Monroe, the legacy of Robert A. Monroe. This is a gorgeous portrait, I think the best I've ever seen. Patty Ray Avalon did this, and when I first saw it, she sent it to me on email, and I looked at it and I had a very unexpected response. I almost burst into tears, which is really kind of unusual for me. And I looked at it and I took my hand and I put my hand up and so I could only see his right eye, the left eye in our perspective. And it's so gentle, it almost looked a little bit sad. And then I looked at the other side, you know, it's just kind of this knowing side on that left eye, as our perspective has it. And then looking at the other, it's very intense, almost fierce. And I thought, isn't that perfect? Because it rather describes Bob. He was a very complex man. He was wise, he was gentle, and he could sometimes be mighty fierce as well. And so I want to thank Patty Ray. I think it's the most gorgeous job I've ever seen done on that. And it will be available for sale at a place near you. I think we will be selling it online and in the bookstore eventually when we get them ready. But anyway, it's very heartwarming to see that. And then there's one other product I won't tell you too much about because it's a surprise. But you'll find out about it on Tuesday. And the hint is I want you to think about rotes. Who remembers what a rote is? Anybody remember? Related, organized, thought, energy, right. And while you're thinking about that, think about one of Bob's most major assertions. I am more than my physical body. And that's all I'll tell you now, but I will tell you that you will get one of these on Tuesday evening, if you're good boys and girls. Yeah. We also have a fundraising program we're going to be putting into place for the first time, really, a more formal fundraising program. We're also upgrading our facilities. We have rewired the Center for Better Audio Sound, and those of you staying for the program, yes, hallelujah, for staying on Wednesday for our, what do we call that? Tape day, our tape day. Hopefully we'll notice the difference. I don't know if you all have noticed the beautiful new parking lights. I got rid of those ugly, big, orange, high-flying, light-polluting things that we had, and now there are these very delicate, pretty little path lights and other lights. And very nice. And you can see the stars, which is the other part. Yes. Not to mention that our neighbors from over a mile away now won't be bothered anymore by the very unattractive, all too bright light that's shown into their living room and bedroom. So that's gone. And this project that's very near to my heart, this is that co-creation with our sister consciousness organizations. And if you all have other ideas who might want to or who would benefit from being involved with this, please let me know or let them know. Again, we are talking about Rhine Research Center, IANS, ISEAM, the ARE, Kevin will be here tomorrow, and of course us. And I mean, we all want to offer greater service to humankind. So let's advance our work individually and collectively and get on with it. So maybe we can talk a little bit about it after our meeting and let you know how far we get tomorrow. All right. So there's a saying that goes something like, a rising tide lifts all ships. So if we, consciousness raising, whatever that means, organizations, can assist each other in having a greater reach to improve more lives, we're all going to benefit, and most certainly the people we're trying to reach. So we at TMI are recommitting to Bob Monroe's legacy and exploring ideas about how to expand and build on Bob's original vision, his discoveries and inventions. And speaking of Bob's original inventions, I'd like to take you into the past for just a couple of minutes. I want to offer you an experience with a brainchild of Bob's that he created in the mid-60s. He was about 52, 53 years old, and the 15-year-old me thought this was the coolest thing I had ever seen or experienced. It's a simple but potent little device, and combined with the music of the time, and likely with the yet unnamed Hemi-Sync signals in the background, which he didn't necessarily tell us about, it gave us kids a very special experience that took us to altered states even then. And then we laid on the floor in his music studio and watched the dancing lights on the ceiling, which seemed to match up with the timing of the music. He called it the Laura Light. So, would you like to have a taste of Bob's non-drug contribution to the 60s psychedelic altered states band? I think you'll recognize the music. And this, now what we have here, this little R2-D2 type of thing, this Bob made, and unfortunately this is old so it doesn't work as it should, but it used to have a setting thing, and it would either, the lights would either kind of bounce on and off, or they would swirl. And we would take this off, and it would play on the ceiling. And you'd be watching these lights swirl and dance together. So can all of you see this? Yeah. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to just relax now for about 2 minutes or so. Relax, enjoy, watch the lights, listen to the music. That's kind of fun. That was kind of fun, huh? And, you know, Bob was big on fun. So one of the other things I did is I got a couple of kites for you guys. He loved flying kites. So anyone who gets inclined this week while you're here, please feel free. We have the dragonfly kite and the deluxe nylon shuttle kite. That's the one Bob would really like. So do feel free to take those out and fly them. Okay. So now, where do we go from here? This is the centennial celebration of Robert Monroe's life. And as we think about bringing Bob's legacy forward over the next 100 years, the Institute, his Hemi-Sync technology, and now SAM, and whatever comes next after that, and perhaps most importantly, Bob's legacy of his powerful paradigm of taking a non-religious, non-spiritual, Western consciousness technology approach to exploring, focusing, and using this thing called consciousness. Not that the other approaches don't have value, they most certainly do. But one of Bob's greatest legacies is that he created this consciousness technology partnership, an approach to understanding more about ourselves and reality, and how we can acquire a totally new and greater overview, what he called the different overview, or the DO, as he liked to call it. Bob did so love acronyms. So again, without introducing any religious dogma or spiritual system or the belief that you need someone else to tell you what the truth is, he provided the tools for people and said, go find out for yourself. There you go. So I feel we're on the edge of all kinds of new dynamics this year, along with a renaissance of the entrepreneurial spirit and groundbreaking ideas such as Bob had. We're creating new possibilities here at TMI and other places in our research, in our educational offerings, and in our partnership with like-minded organizations. Bob was devoted to the concept that the future of humankind lies in the changes and/or improvement in our function of consciousness. So as we launch ourselves into the next 100 years, serving others by offering ways and means to change and improve our function of consciousness, though it can indeed be a very serious business, and it does take a lot of courage, perhaps we should take a page from Bob's book and go have some fun. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate that.